Hello everybody, welcome back to FTL Mods. On this one, another ship mod. Pay no attention to the background, that's just because I also have better plants and backgrounds installed, as you can see right here. There's no need to just go with the ship mod when I can get some nice things to look at in the process. So this mod's called the Rogue, made by Proved Nick. This one changes the stealth ship. Now, you may say, what's different about this one? Well, you got flak, you got a mini beam, and the cloak has been switched out for a weapon pre-igniter. So if you bung up your first shot, things are not going to go too well for you. So let's give this one a go, shall we? Yeah, okay, was a bit confused by the hint there. Alright. So, better make a first shot count unless you want to be dead. Now, this being FTL and all, that does mean one thing and one thing only. Good counters to all of my stuff. In this case, that's drones, and more likely beam drones. But our first shot did what it was supposed to do. So I'm assuming you'll have a ship. I don't know if it should be called overpowered yet. But look at that mini beam, and I can do 5 damage with it. There's nothing wrong with that, it's just the mini beam that's pretty powerful. I'm also playing on normal, so that could be playing on easy, that could also be the thing, but there's a reason why I don't often start with a pre-igniter. No. Because it's, well, truth be told, the, see? Beams and drones. Beams and drones. It's just the norm with this ship. Gonna tackle this first to try and make sure that the beam goes down. 6 fuel, I will just take that offer. Now, the pre-igniter used to be something like a... oh, there goes my engines. A divine thing that happened. Like, when you saw it appear in stores, it was beams from heaven that came down. A bit of organ playing in the background. Until you look down at your finances and suddenly that organ turned into a sad trombone. You all know how the tune goes. And if you don't, just look up sad trombone and you know what I will be talking about. Now, I'm playing Cam's Edition and all of that, and the addition of tons of quick firing weapons, especially the charge weapons that get extra shots. Can we help here anyway? I don't think we can, right? We'll leave them alone then. The pre-igniter lost a bit of its functionality in my eyes. It's still a good thing, don't get me wrong, and if I have scrappy spare, I probably will buy it, but there's a lot of other stuff now that's... oh, you don't stand a chance, my good sir. So that would have been they never saw it coming achievement, and if I didn't already have it. But yeah, I've started taking a liking to more interesting augments, like the combat augments that CE provides. Occasionally the trading. Yeah, there we go, another beam drone, well, another drone. And it happens to be a beam drone as well, so yeah, that sort of proves my point. You know, I like the weapon pre-igniter, but there's so much other fun stuff you can go along with, so... almost able to buy shields, and then the fun can really kick off. Sure. Shield charge booster, huh? We'll take it with us. Can always decide to just ignore the other quest beacon and still keep everything for ourselves. I could do this. I'm not going to, because we're not playing on cap position, and slavery is a-okay apparently now. Do I even have a system? Well, not yet, but I'll probably get shields sooner rather than later. I can put you on sensors for now. And then we'll leave. Getting a good amount of scrap. Only 1 bit of damage thanks to a drone. Sure. Alright. Well, you've been with us for 1 beacon and 1 beacon only. Hope you had fun. Thanks for playing. Alright, Sector 2, see if this one brings any troubles for us. Don't think they will, but... Again, drones, again, beam. Double beams. So at this point, the only thing you can do is just accept that the game really does enjoy throwing stuff at you that is supposed to be a hard counter for your current ship. So I'm trying to get shields plus weapons in. I think there's an obvious reason why it doesn't work, but maybe if I go like this, yeah. So yeah, flak plus beams is a match made in heaven. It proves its point right here. Distress, but no stores. Now, the good thing about this all is this is going to be a pretty darn quick run. So which ooh, you almost shot down 2 of those, huh? So drones aren't really an issue here. I mean, there's a defense drone, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, you had a weapon still online. Did not know that. Probably would have. No, I think we can get through this without too much of a problem. Ah, there we go. Probably be able to pick up shields here. Seems like that's something they also prioritize. If you don't have shields, then it pops up in stores pretty frequently. Now the automated reloader, it wouldn't be bad either. You have a shield charge booster and a weapon pre-igniter, but still taking off 10% of the charge time here wouldn't be the worst idea. Still, I think I can use my scrap on better things. For instance, getting some power for our shields. We can even upgrade them again if we so choose, which we probably will do. So at this point, the most interesting thing of the run is over. Ships where you can negate their biggest weakness of... Well, once you get over the biggest weakness of a certain ship, then it's pretty much a done deal. I don't think we can do this. Alright, so we'll prioritize weapons, shields, and engines. Don't need to power up shields more. You can use that better in our piloting, well, engines, but... You know what I mean. So yeah, it's an interesting concept. I think starting off with a pre-igniter is a bad choice, though. I mean, consider the way the Rantural mod deals with the stealth ship. It just gives it quick-firing weapons, meaning you don't need anything we want here. Not really, I would say. Yeah, considering how the Rantural mod deals with the stealth ship, Just gives you quick firing weapons. You still have your cloak though, but all in all, I think you're better off with a pre-igniter than with a cloaking system at the start. Being able to just immediately neuter your opponent is probably a lot better than being able to dodge its first shot. Sure. We've lost our pilot now as well. We got battery charger for that, plus a good amount of scrap. At this point I wish I did shell out for a bit of crew, but I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. Yeah, sure. We'll power up our weapons again. Prepare to fight. Immediately pause and send most of our good stuff into that. So we've lost a bit of power from the pre-igniter, but it's still pretty strong, I would say. So he isn't sending out his hack. I'm assuming that's going to change the second I hit his weapons, so it wouldn't be the worst to also take out its hack already. Didn't completely work because it was level 2. With his weapons down, I will power up my oxygen again, just so I don't forget it. You know, the mini beam is actually a pretty darn good weapon. I'm not really surprised that it's not available for purchase in the game, either in vanilla or with the Captain's Edition installed. A 1 power weapon that could do up to 5 damage, maybe even more, I'm not entirely sure, but 5 is pretty darn good. Yeah. I mean, the combination flak, I said it once before, I say it again, combination flak and beams is just amazing. That's all of our power, which means we will buy 1 more for putting engines, but not much more. We'll go pirate, because we still don't have any sort of missile defense. I think this ship, all in all, will be, how shall I say it, noob friendly compared to a normal stealth ship, at least. I mean, look, I haven't barely done anything and this ship is already in for some problems. But you know, it's a concept that hasn't been done before, so not everything has to be perfectly balanced. We'll heal you up while we wait for the FTL to do its thing. Alright, now we get to see if this ship is made for AE, as in can we buy all of the systems. Clone Bay works, which means the rest will be pretty much of the same ordeal. Battery charger can go. I don't know if I'll keep the beam with me for now, and I'll pick up long-range scanners. Now, so I'll keep the beam, because if we do end up finding a drone recovery arm, I would like to start using those. Sure. Can't tech you anyway, so. It's a trap. That it is. But it won't be a trap for much longer once I do one of these. You know, a good setup for me is to just... Well, a good setup. A good way of measuring a ship's starting strength is to see how long you can go without needing other stuff. Now, by other stuff, I do mean stuff like different weapons and something. I mean, obviously, if you start off with no shields, you probably won't want to stick around for too long, but like how long can you go with your current setup of weapons and stuff like that. I mean, being able to start off with a flak shot and a mini beam straight out the gates, in the best ideal, this takes care of 3 shield bars. This thing could do usually 2 to 4 damage. That is pretty powerful if you're asking me. We'll visit up that store as well. Might want to get a better weapon in. The longer we can stay overpowered, the better. It means we have to spend less scrap on repairs. It means we can put even more stuff in on the other good things. See, imagine I take this. With a pre-igniter, that thing can fire immediately and neuter some more ships. Problem is, can I get it online? Not yet, but I will take it with me. So I need 4 more in the weapons area. Because I probably will sell off this. Definitely gonna sell. Not gonna sell the pre-igniter. I'm gonna continue our way forward. There's probably decent enough chance to pick up cloaking further down the line, though I had some issues with that. I mean, I could start the run with. Yeah, it's probably gonna be it then. Could start off the run with a shot from the burst and the mini beam, which would only require me 2 more weapon upgrades. But yeah, if I can get everything online, that's probably going to be good. Another reason I really am not that big of a fan of, well, that another reason why the pre-igniter lost a bit of its touch to me is fights that drag on forever. And there's a few of them. I mean, the flagship being one of the obvious ones here. Can I get back to the store if I get lucky enough to get some scrap? Yes, which means I should be able to get cloaking as well. There we go. You only barely started. This ship isn't doing anything to me anymore, and probably never will. Now I know. Trust me, I do. I know that if you start off with cloaking instead of a weapon pre-ignited and you use your cloak effectively, you will get a first shot off before the enemy gets to do anything. Problem is, what are you most likely capable of coming across? Cloaking or a pre-igniter? My point exactly. So, starting off with a pre-igniter gives you a much better chance of getting both cloaking and pre-igniter, while starting off with just a cloak doesn't necessarily mean you'll find a pre-igniter. Now there's a good chance that we'll bump into the rebel fleet here. That wouldn't be the first time I have that happen. Just don't have enough. Yeah. That's okay. If I can get some scrap from this thing. No. Well, with the cloak now installed, we should be able to do it. I mean, this looks fairly impressive, right? Let's see what our starting weapons can do here. Right, so he still has that level 7 cloaking up. We probably get to fire again before he even does. I'm not entirely sure, but even then. There's another thing. I think this is just related to CE. And this is not related to the mod, this is just a complaint is a big word, but an issue that I figured out with the rebels. The rebels the rebel fleet catching up to you really gets a lot harder on Captain's Edition. I mean, at least I don't think I haven't come across a single time the rebel fleet caught up with me and I didn't go like, oh crap, now we're in for a hassle. Oh, look at this, it's just a normal ship. Okay, sure, it got a flak Mark II and 2 level of shields, but it didn't even get close to touching me. Also, the reason why people manage to get ridiculously high amounts of scores. They just farm the rebel fleet. I would like to see those fuckers do that on Captain's Edition. How long was my O2 offline anyway? Oh yeah, from the second I decided to cloak there. Right. Mom. So it's a good thing that I did decide to go with... none of those are hitting weapons, I see. So my main concern now will probably be getting some more weapon power in. Now he's trying to escape. I don't think he's going to be able to though. So yeah, another thing about the pre-igniter. It is hellishly powerful. You've seen me do enough damage with it as is. But keep in mind, it's only that initial burst. Now in the beginning, that is powerful enough to take down most ships. No. The further you go at the end, the less great it can become, depending on what type of weapon you got. If I now ended up finding a glaive beam, then, well, we're basically cruising all the way to the end then, but... I mean, look, we're 22 minutes in and we're already in sector of, what, 4? Oh yeah, I got cloaking now, so I can't actually help. So this is soul tank control, which means I could dick around in the nebula if I wanted to. So I would like to get 2 extra power so I can start off with this and the mini beam. Then I can always switch from this back to flak. But yeah, that didn't go so well, did it? So I really haven't talked about the actual ship too much, other than the fact that it started off with a pre-igniter. Color is nice. Didn't really wish it was all black, but I mean, it is a stealth cruiser, in fact, so you can't really go with a better color than black when you're in space. Something I always found pretty odd on that Stealth C, making it like a bright orange type deal. Alright, this is going pretty well. So I can get 2 of these, meaning I can definitely start off with one of those from here on in. And we totally will. Yep, and we can do one of these and we'll be ready again. Flak is great, but the difference between 3 shots and 5 shots is pretty big as well. Especially on ships like these where half of the shots probably don't have a good chance of doing anything whatsoever. Means I will have to go back and forth. So I need another 165 to get everything powered up here. But that's okay. We've got the time, so see whatever this nebula is worth. Could go here or could go here and then check out most of these beacons. Because it doesn't seem like there's just too much left there. It's a great thing. Not gonna buy an unknown weapon because I'm probably gonna end up with just these weapons. Instead we'll attack their shields and hit this with our mini beam. And that's gonna work out just fine. Kind of wondering why they took off this weapon instead of their mini beam, but AI and AE wasn't always the smartest. Although I did mention that they seem to become smarter and smarter with keeping their missile launchers and whatnot online. But yeah, I think getting the weapons up online is now a big priority with the pre-igniter and stuff like that. So I think that's another place where this one actually differs. Usually you want to get your shields up as high as possible, or the Zoltan cruisers would have you prioritize the engines. This one goes for weapons straight up. Probably shouldn't have done that. I know. That store could have had some good stuff in the store. See what I did there. But yeah. And there you have it. Now that's the best protection I ever saw against ion pulses. Don't tell me my shot's gonna get blocked by... Are my shields up? No. Probably would have been a bad idea to accept the surrender offer there. So that's the real first mistake on my end so far. There's probably gonna be more. There usually are more. Alright, you two take care of this fire first. First time I've spent more than 20 seconds on one beacon. Well, as a figure of speech, I think there were a few that were a bit longer, but definitely not too many. You can be pilot now. Everything's good, so we'll power up the weapons we need and want and whatnot. And might as well go visit that store. You never know if you find something interesting. Like a pike beam. Pike beam beats mini beam. That means we should go full on weapons, as in get flak 1, spike beam. Did I just say spike beam? Pike beam and burst laser 3. Sure. These episodes are made for trying out the weirder things in life, so well, the weirder things that FTL has to offer, so I'm okay with it. Going full on weapons and then looking after our shields and whatnot. So yeah, cloaking is a good counter against a pre-igniter. Then again, if I have cloaking of my own, it really nullifies the whole ordeal, doesn't it? So we'll see if we can neuter their evasion a little bit. Yeah, pretty much. And then finish this one. There we go. We need 15 more and then we can get flak up. But I'm noticing that if we do this first, we can actually start off with one of these. Which at this point is a little bit more interesting. Could go to the store, but I'd rather not. Oh well. Could buy some fuel there. Or some crew. Well, fuel it is then, huh? Surprised we didn't get more out of this, but it is going pretty quickly. This is the end of Sector 4 already? Hull beam. Oh man, I just spent money on getting another one. Well, I think Pike Beam was still the better choice here. Yep, we're off to Rock Homeworlds already, 30 minutes in. This might be... If things keep going the way they are going right now, this might be a single episode run. Although that would be pretty crazy. Offer to improve your reactor. We're not using any of these, so yeah, sure. Sun. Better stay away from suns if possible. Don't really hate asteroid fields, but suns are something entirely different. Oh yeah, Pike Beam. Right, you can just go straight up like this. Yeah, that's better. I'm also having it go through my head that I can use burst, pike, and mini beam. Which would be even more insanity. Yeah, this seems like it could do some even more damage than what I already have. So the faster we can let this go by, the better, I would say. Use this to take out shields, and then use all of our beams to just say, F you, buddy. See you in hell. It's not an instant kill, definitely not, but I'd like to see the first ship that could actually recover from that. So I think we've sorted out the weapons pretty decently. Mini beam, just do whatever you want. Pike beam, basically the same thing. There's our next thing of shields up. Finally, permanently. What, you're giving me this now? What do I get out of this anyway? Rock plating. Well, another store, truth be told. Is there anything I would get rid of? Maybe the shield charge booster instead of rock plate. Well, maybe shield charge booster in favor for the rock plating. We're gonna try and get a crew member out of this, if at all possible. Mini beam, hit the important stuff. Pike beam, hit all the stuff. Right. You're good at piloting, so I could just... No, I want the humanist piloting because I want to move you around when needed. Okay. So we got that in. Finally got a crew member back. This is close to his sun. They are charging, so I'm just gonna do nothing here. Other than using my cloak to get out of here when needed. I'm not even gonna tag their weapons or anything, because that can only slow down their chances of getting the F out of here. Which is what I'm waiting for here. If you have to get hit by a missile for it, then so be it. Don't fire another missile at me, you fucker. Damn it. Oh well. Well, you're fireproof, so weapons are okay, so I can just move on. Not too worried. Promise cloaking, and there we go. Then we can go take in our rock plating. %15% chance to negate incoming hull damage versus 15% shield recharge. Yeah. Sure. I'll go with rock plating. The only reason for it, if you look at both of these, shield charge booster has a chance to stop an extra projectile from the laser type category. Also one of the beams, but this thing can do basically the same thing, stop you from taking damage, well, hull damage, but from everything, missiles included. So I think rock plating at the end is a better choice. Besides, it's something we normally can't have when playing cat position because it allows us to do piracy. So it's nice to get that in for a change. I don't really like the rock ships because I hate being reliant on missiles. I just hate it. You end up selling those for other weapons anyway, so what's the whole freaking idea of that ship? Don't even start with something to give you more missiles. I think you did in cat position, but that's an entirely different situation, isn't it? So, if I get one more, well, 50 more scrap in, then I can get rid of the mini beam in order for some more potential of taking down shields. So I'll keep going to the pirate controlled ones. Running low on fuel though. Right. So the problem now is if you aren't able to take down the shields, we're boned. As in our other weapons can't do anything. If we do, it's bad news on their end. I think we got boarded for the first time as well, yeah. That should be good enough. I'm going for my oxygen. Are you a bit of a dick? So this is good. The NG's fighting my human and their human is fighting my rockman. So I need not worry about what's gonna happen here. Might as well cloak. Bursts. Mini beam. Pike beam. One fuel. I need fuel, but I think I can get better somehow. Alright. Not really in any kind of rush. 2 shields is enough to keep the asteroids at bay, or at least it should be. And that's 100 scrap, so I know what my first priority will be once we get ships into safety. Which isn't here, but all in all shouldn't be that big of a problem. Only need 2 hits to get this train rolling. And as usual, the missile launcher stays online. We have cloaking. But we're waiting for burst laser to be ready again before we can actually do anything. So there's a good chance we'll be hit by another rocket. Not the worst. I mean, we still are doing pretty darn okay as far as hull strength goes. Ship, weapons, power, mini beam. You've been fun. But this will be our weapon setup. Flak 1, burst laser 3, plus pike beam. There we go. That should give me some peace of mind in case of another boarding attack. Ship with life form. Yeah, we'll probably end up taking a weapon. Healing burst. Won't use it. We'll sell it. There's this really small chance that would have been able to do anything with the damage stasis pod anyway. So. This is great. So, what else is up? Well, I've been trying to get another one of my own mods working. It's a pretty fun idea that I have going with that. And most of the work is actually done. Do we need more crew? Yeah, but we won't spend money on it though. And I will sell the mini beam. For only 10 scrap, I'm gonna keep the mini beam with me. Best case scenario, we never get to use it, but if weapons get hit once, I can change it out with with one of my other weapons. I don't think 10 scrap is gonna make all of the difference either, so. Anyway, let's try our new weapon setup then. Flag goes in first, because it's pretty much unguided. Burst lasers can follow up, and then the pike beam can do whatever pike beam does, which is really mess some crud up. For fuel, yeah, we'll take that. I mean, we have a little bit of fuel, but there's no reason to stretch it thin, because it bit me in the butt a lot. But yeah, been trying to get another model mine in the work, and most of the work is done. Problem is, I can't get it to load the hull image that I customly built. It works fine in Superluminal, so the issue is not with that program, I think. At least it doesn't seem to be. But whenever I load the mods in with Slipstream Mod Manager, the ship shows up, as in I can select the thing I'm building. But instead of the hull image, I get a square with a yellow and black chest pattern, and another smaller black square somewhere in the middle. So I don't really know what's up with that. It's PNG and all, but in the end, I think it's something that's just too big. But if there's anyone out there that knows more on the subject, let me know. Had a look on it with, well, in Superluminal, you can actually show the image of the hangar, so you can adjust your offset of the ship. And the hull seems to go a little, well, the image is bigger than the one from the hull. Well, the hull image is wider than the hangar image, so I think it could be there, but where the problem lies, but I'm not entirely sure. I've seen some pretty big ships. Anyway, would really like to get that thing off the ground, but so far there's some issues. At first it started off with unlinked doors, as in imagine this room wasn't here, but you could go, but these doors still were, and go from this room to this room just by walking from here and ending up over there. So there were some problems with that, as well as you apparently could not cross gaps wider than 2 tiles. Yeah, we'll accept that we can use them for shields. So, what does this ship still need? Well, not really too much. Sure. We'll probably end up doing that anyway. It's a 5 scrap discount, so. Rebel Stronghold. Want to go fight a flagship preemptively? Sure you do, but I am going to cut it here, though. I thought I could make it through the whole thing, but the last sector takes quite a while, and our pre-igniter won't be able to do too much there for us anyway. So I'm gonna split this up in 2. If I do end up with a short one, I've got another ship that I've had my eyes on of showing, but didn't really want to do an entire run with because it seemed like it would be something that's would take forever. If you do end up with a bit of time left, we'll show that one off as well. But for now, thank you guys for watching. I hope you're still enjoying the series. Feel free to show support by commenting, liking, and or subbing. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, everyone.